I'm positively peer pressuring you guys to understand that if you want to live a life, one that counts, life's short, you got a lot to do, one that's going to be amazing. And dude, listen, I like making a lot of money. Everybody understand this. You're on this call and you're like, I want to learn how to make more money today. Listen to what I'm saying. Because I guarantee it, if you don't listen to what I say and you don't go home and be good to your family after a hard day's work, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go through a divorce. Your kids are going to freaking leave you. You're going to be emotionally screwed and you're not going to make any money. You're going to give it all up. You're going to have a chaotic, crazy-ass, horrible life. But at the end of the life, okay, it's either going to say on your gravestone, your tombstone's going to say stud or dud. That's cool. That's cool, man. Hey, listen, if you don't want to be remembered, fine. If you don't want to change your bloodline, fine. If you don't want to be an example to anyone on planet Earth for what's possible, fine. No matter who you are on this call, I don't care where you're at. If you're broke and E and on zero and you're a loser, fine. But you don't have to stay that way because I was once a loser. Okay, raise your hand if you're in sales. Okay, lots of hands. Okay, all right. It's super important. If you're watching this right now, I know some of you, I see some Mazda stores. I see some people that aren't in the car business. I see different people. By the way, let me tell you guys all a little secret. It's all the same. Winners are winners, losers are losers, okay? One of the things that I want to start with is I want everybody to know this. I like to start this way because it's important to me. Sometimes you don't need to know like what your dream is. Sometimes you don't need to know what you want to do in life. Sometimes you don't need to know, it's fine. Sometimes you just need to know who you don't want to be. And by the way, I'm living proof you can change your life. Just to be completely crystal clear, I have a $100 million business. I started broke at 18 in the car business with $0, never held more than $5 in my hand. Please save all your excuses. Mom and dad married 8 times. They showed me how to get married. They showed me how to quit. They were losers. My dad's a pushover. My mom's an alcoholic and a drug addict. I never had a leader growing up. I never had a good example. Okay? I'm trying to tell you guys right now, you can do whatever you want in your life. You can become whoever you want. I'm going to tell you how to do it. Okay? But I need you to do me a favor. I think this is important, all right? Everybody's always like, what do you want? What do you want? How about we just do this for just a minute? Why don't we do a 1-minute little thing together? Why don't we write down who we don't want to be? And by the way, if you're lazy and you won't write this down, that's fine, right? Just maybe one day, hopefully, you'll get lucky. Doesn't exist, okay? And by the way, listen to me. If you're one of these people that won't write shit down, clearly you're making a statement to everyone around you and to yourself and your family and your bloodline. You are not a leader. And I don't know if you believe in God or not, but God uses leaders to change people. God uses leaders to be the freaking people that set the example for the world. He doesn't use sheep. It's disrespectful if you believe in God and you're a sheep, okay? This ain't about God. I'm just trying to tell you, God is looking for leaders. And leaders need to be very clear about what they want. So number one, we got to get clear, not about what we want, about what we don't want. Can I ask you a question? Do you want to be out of shape? Do you want to be broke in your bank account? Do you want to have crappy relationships? Do you want the last 5 years to repeat itself again, and that will be the next 5 years? Do you, it's like, just think, what don't you want to be? I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to have a bad attitude. I don't want to have a shitty ass perspective on life. Dude, listen to this. I'm going to give you an example because I see Mazda, right? And there's a group full of people. So half you guys are probably walking in the dealership in the morning and you see everything that's wrong. You see all the problems. You know, I see people that walk in my company, I can't believe it. And they see things that are wrong. I walk in here, I can't believe I get to be here. I can't believe I get an opportunity to be in a place like this. I can't believe it. I remember when I worked at the car dealership when I was 18 years old, I couldn't believe they gave me a job. I couldn't believe I had the ability to change my life. I always wanted someone to give me a shot to become someone, to build a life for myself, to be financially okay. I mean, to have a nice life. I always wanted that. But I would walk around other salespeople and I would listen to them complain and whine and cry and talk about everything that was wrong. And it was so crazy because I'd be like, I don't see those things. And what I learned is that whatever you're looking for, you find. And so like do me a favor, like you need to decide who you don't want to be. Do you want to have sensitive skin? Do you want to be a little baby and everything that someone says, you take it personal and you get offended? Look, dude, if you're getting offended, you'll find it everywhere you go. You get offended every day, all day, every day. Every time someone says something. Someone can't even try to coach you to make you better because you get offended. Someone can't tell you that you're doing something wrong because you get offended. Instead of saying, hey, thank you for caring about me, this is going to give me an opportunity to grow, you're like, I can't believe you would say that to me. Haven't you seen all the other good things I've been doing? It's like, dude, you let that one fly right over your head. Stop getting distracted. Are you ready to turn your annual income into your monthly income? If you want to make more money in 2025 than ever before, you want to recreate your life, you want to put a financial fence around your family, you're ready to change, you got to be like my boy Tommy here. He's training on the Elliott Training Academy. Listen, it takes a couple things. Number one, life coaching, leadership training. The quality of your life will always come down to the level of your leadership. So the life that you have now is because the leader that you are. It's time to change. If you're ready to change your life, download now. Basically what it's saying to the world is that you're uncoachable. You have ego. And you know what I learned? Broke people have something called broke arrogance. I can't believe it, man. You know, I just want to go back and I hopefully during this call I'll say one thing that will strike a nerve, one thing that will find some truth in your life. I remember when I was 18 years old, my manager told me, he said, and I want you to listen to me, he said, if you come in and you train every day and you do your training every day, and he told me most of these guys won't do it. Andy, they've been here for 10, 15 years. They're not going to do the training. Honestly, they don't listen to me no more. They think they know it all, but at the end of the day, they're not number one on the board, and they're not even financially okay, and they're not making all the money. He said, but if you'll just do one thing, if you'll listen to me, if you'll train every day, if you'll see this company as a good place with a good perspective, I promise you, you have a great attitude. He's like, you're going to go so far. And you know what he told me? You know, this is what's funny, is he said if I did a good job, I could make $5,000 a month. I ain't never held more than $5 in my hand at one time, and I want to tell you guys something. I made $125,000 that first year selling cars. I want everybody to do me a favor, write this down. It's 2025 almost. This was in 1999. In 1999, I made 125 grand. In 2000, I made 225, and by the time 2001, I made my first 500 grand. I want you to hear me. I want you to be very careful about listening to what I'm about to tell you. When I was making more money than my general manager, my sales manager, and everyone in the store when I was 20 to 21 years old, I remembered how much they talked on me. I had people come up to me every day and they said, Andy, how do you make X amount of money? How do you sell X amount of cars? And I remember I would sit down with them for an hour or two and I would tell them everything I was doing. And they would just go back to doing the same thing. Not one of them changed. It wasn't like they wanted to know. They were just asking. What I learned, and I want you to write this down. Do you really want to know how to be successful, or have you just been asking? If you really want to know, then when someone tells you, you're going to change because you're looking for a new play. Hey, we've saw the results you're currently getting running the play that you're currently running. If you're watching this, it's funny, if you're in the automotive business and you're selling 10 cars a month, if I'm selling 50 and I tell you how to sell 50 and then you go back to doing 10, clearly you don't even care. So why did you ask me? And I learned that first year or two, I answered so many questions to so many people that I learned that really didn't want to change. I want to be completely vulnerable, and I want to tell every single one of you something. I want to talk to you from my heart for just a minute before I get into some tactical things that helped me change my life. I always wanted to be somebody. I always wanted to have a place that someone like me could make it. And by the way, listen, I don't know who you are, but I want to tell you what I mean by someone like me. Someone whose mom or dad was never present when I was young. I was raised by kids. I had no manners. I didn't have a mom, so I was cold-hearted. I literally didn't know how to speak. I stuttered at 18. I had no self-confidence, no self-belief, no self-esteem. I had no people skills. I had no communication skills. I literally was the least likely to make it, voted by everyone, including my family. I was laughed, I was mocked at, I was the black sheep. I had ADD, ADHD, probably bipolar, and everything you could imagine. And at 18, they said there is a place that if you can learn how to do this, you can build yourself a great life. And I want to tell you guys this, I don't care where you are right now, I guarantee that place is where you are right now. Everybody always thinks it's somewhere else. And as I get older, I realize some of the things that I did that really helped me change everything in my life. And number one, I'm going to tell you, I wanted a new life. So I was willing, no matter whoever told me what I needed to do, I was willing to do whatever they said. The only thing that I regret for the first 20 years of my life that I worked was I didn't have a good leader. But if you ain't never had one, you don't know what one is. You know what a good leader is? And I'm gonna tell you right now, and then I'm gonna go into some things that'll help you change your life. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna tell you what I wish I was told when I was 18 when I started the car business. Number one, I made a lot of money. I became a millionaire selling cars. I mean, cash in the bank at young. But I wasn't very good to a lot of people. All I wanted to do is make money. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. My intentions weren't very good. My managers just told me, make money, make money, make money, make money, make money, screw everyone else. And by the way, I'm not telling you that that's your manager or your boss. I'm telling you that was my manager. And I'm sure some of you guys know that these people still exist in the world. They didn't care about nobody. And another thing that was really hard for me is that, I met my wife when I was 26 and she was 24. I love my wife. My wife believed in me like no other. I learned that people that are really successful genuinely, and they're successful for a long time, have great home lives. They're great fathers, they're great mothers, they're great parents, and their family supports them, so when they go to work, they can kick ass. And so when they go home, their family's like, hey babe, how was work? And you don't come home complaining, and they support you, and it's just a big, beautiful life, and you just keep dominating and going higher. And I remember my managers when I was 18, they told me, you can't have a family and make money. And so I had this like curse on me for like the first 20 years that like you had to make a decision. Like, do you want to make a lot of money? Like, listen, I want you to think about these decisions. Imagine this. If I gave you a multiple choice right now, do you want A, make a lot of money, B, be a good parent, C, be a great husband or wife, right? D, be close to God, right? And then let's say E, be in great physical condition, right? Be in great shape and look in the mirror and be proud of you. Let's say there was 5 of these and they were like, there's a multiple choice and you had to pick one. Well, basically what we think is success is money. And honestly, success is getting it all. I'm gonna be completely clear. The number one thing that I learned when I was 39 years that allowed me to become the man I am today is that I learned one simple leadership deal, that you can have it all. And if you decide today, right, because there's a saying that I learned when I was 18, sacrifice for what you want or what you want becomes a sacrifice, very simple. And so if I wanted to make a lot of money, I had to sacrifice other things. Like I wanted to be in great health. I wanted to have lots of muscle and be lean and shredded like I am today in my 40s. And they told me, well, you don't have time to do that because you got to work. Listen to me. You can get everything you want. Don't ever believe. By the way, you can be number one on the board. You can make millions of dollars. You can have a great family. You can be close to God. You can do all of this. You can be a good person. It's called being a leader. And here's the deal. No one was training me to be a leader. They were training me to make money. And honestly, I look back and is like a lot of people are like, man, I wish I could be like you when you were younger, make a lot of money. I'm like, no, dude, I want you to be like me now. I don't want you to be like me then. And I was missing a leader. I want to tell you guys something. Leadership is a skill of influence. It's not a position. Managers and bosses, guys, listen, no one wants a boss. No one wants a manager. Everybody wants a coach. Everybody wants a leader. Everybody wants to be influenced. I call it positive peer pressure. You know what I'm doing right now on this call? I'm positively peer pressuring you guys to understand that if you want to live a life, one that counts, life's short, you got a lot to do, one that's going to be amazing. And dude, listen, I like making a lot of money. Everybody understand this. You're on this call and you're like, I want to learn how to make more money today. Listen to what I'm saying. Because I guarantee it, if you don't listen to what I say and you don't go home and be good to your family after a hard day's work, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go through a divorce. Your kids are going to freaking leave you. You're going to be emotionally screwed and you're not going to make any money. You're going to give it all up. You're going to have a chaotic, crazy-ass, horrible life. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't think about that. I know that's the problem. Remember that? You ever heard that saying? People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan? Right? Yeah, it's cool when you write it on the wall. You know what's cooler? When you live it. Okay, so I want to tell every single one of you, I'm going to give you some things right now that are going to change your life, and I want you to write them down. Ready? And number one, I want you to write this down. Don't learn it, live it. Okay, some of you guys are the best note takers on planet Earth. You do. You take the best notes. Hell, you'll probably repost this on social media when we're done. Some of the quotes that I give you today, problem is you won't live it. Guys, what value is it learning anything if you can't duplicate it yourself, own it yourself, and live it? Anything that I've done in my own life, I am handing over to you so you can have it. It's yours. Listen to me, every one of you right now, I'm giving you what I'm doing that's enabled me to build the life that I have right now. Guys, just to be completely clear, I'm 45 years old. I got 6-7% body fat. My family are 350 to 450 pounds. Anybody right now that tells me that, my genetics, I am not hearing you. I am not hearing any of that crap that you tell me. If you tell me, Andy, you don't understand the family I came from. Dude, my dad's a pushover. He's a weenie. My dad taught me to quit my whole life. My mom is a crackhead and an alcoholic and a horrible person with the worst attitude I've ever seen. Okay, what, so you didn't have an example? Can I ask you a question? If your dad beat you when you were a kid, are you gonna go beat your kids? How stupid would that be? Super important, guys, if you're watching this video right now and you're like, Andy, I'm not built like that. Bullshit. Yes, you are. Okay, you gotta train. That's the way it works. Train or complain, it's your choice. Okay, every day I train the greatest in the world. You know what I mean? Are you ready to kick some ass and build your legacy and make history? If you are, in the description box below on this YouTube video, there's gonna be a link. You click on it, enter your phone number, email, full name, and I will personally reach out to you in the next 24 hours. If you're serious about kicking some ass, going to the new level, recreating next version of yourself, I'm your guy. Let's kill it. If your mom was an alcoholic and you hated her because she drank all the time, can I ask you a question? How stupid would it for me to go and drink and say, well, my mom did it? Guys, listen to me. Who don't you want to be? Who don't you want to be? Now you're understanding at the beginning of the call when I said, you don't need to know what you want. You don't even need to know what your dream is sometimes. That will come to you. As you change, that dream will change. You don't even need to know where you want to be at and live. You need to know who you don't want to be. And every day, make sure that you're not becoming that person, no matter what. And that's the deal. I never thought about it that way. I was always like, I want to have a Lamborghini. I want to have a Ferrari. I want to have a big house. I want to have lots of money in the bank. I want to have more zeros in my checking account. Yeah, but you know what? I ended up being a lot of the people that I didn't want to be along the way, getting those things, and I didn't like me. So let's be very clear and let's get vicious about it. What is vicious? Stand firm on what you won't do. Okay? I almost got in some big trouble in the car business when I was younger because I had a guy that was very influential, that was a leader to me, who was a very horrible leader that I thought following was great. And the problem is I was being a pushover like my dad. Okay? I'm not an ass kisser. I'm not a crowd pleaser. I don't do that shit anymore. I know what I want. I know my standards. I know my values, and I stand on them. Okay? I don't care what business you're in. This is about what you believe in and who you're going to be. And if you can just decide that real quick, now I'm going to tell you tactically how to really win big. So number one, two things. Number one, everybody write this down. Your mind is not your friend. Let's be completely clear. Your mind has been with you since you were 0 years old. It knows everything you've ever done in your life. It knows all the you have shame about. It knows all the stuff that you did that no one else knows. It knows every time you lied. It knows every time that you betrayed someone. It knows every time you stole. It knows every time you cheated. It knows everything. It knows your low self-limiting beliefs. It knows everything in your whole life. And I'm going to tell you this, every single day, your mind, if you don't do what I'm about to tell you to do, I'm going to tell you what it's going to do to you. And this is why some of you guys right now are getting your ass kicked. By the way, write down every day. Because when I say every day, I mean every day. I don't mean Monday through Friday. I don't mean work days. I mean every day. I mean every day you wake up until you die, you have to do this. And by the way, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. If you want to be great, if you want to be remembered, if you want to build a legacy, if you want to break your bloodline, if you want to have a rich-ass life and get rich, listen very carefully. Your mind isn't your friend. Every morning, my mind tries to race. It tries to make me think about everybody who's out to get me, everybody's out to screw me. It tries to remind me of all my insecurities. It tries to tell me about what I'm not capable of. It tries to convince me that I can't do it. It tries to tell me to be lazy. You don't have to go as hard today. It tries to tell me I'm tired. I'm not fucking tired. What are you talking about? It is not for me. My mind and yours is not our friends, period. It's not your buddy. And by the way, if you want to understand a little bit more, when we get off this call, go look up the word amygdala. It's like Amy G. Della. Amygdala. And the amygdala lives on your spine. It is real. And it creates stories and lies all the time. And every time you try to go and do something and make a bold move or change your life, it tries to tell you, you don't have to do that. Bro, you don't have to do that. You know why? Because it doesn't want to go through it with you. Because it knows that if you go, it has to go with you. But I will tell you something. If you go and you make these bold moves and you make a decision to change, by the way, actions don't happen until decisions are made. You make a decision, action follows. You make decisions on this call, your mind, you're going to tell it to shut up, and you're going to tell it what it's going to do, what we're going to do, and how it's going to go. And then I want to tell you a little secret that most people never get to understand. That amygdala, if you put its back against the wall, it will fight for you until death. And then it becomes your greatest soldier, your greatest warrior. But in the early mornings, you have to train it. So every morning, people say, Andy, how do you start your day? You know, I start my day, I do the most uncomfortable shit I can do. I shake that sucker. By the way, listen, you may say, I don't have to do that. You're right, you don't have to do nothing. But at the end of the life, okay, it's either going to say on your gravestone, your tombstone, it's going to say stud or dud. That's cool. That's cool, man. Hey, listen, if you don't want to be remembered, fine. If you don't want to change your bloodline, fine. If you don't want to be an example to anyone on planet Earth for what's possible, fine. No matter who you are on this call, I don't care where you're at. If you're broke and E and on zero and you're a loser, fine. But you don't have to stay that way, because I was once a loser. I was once a hater. I once didn't like me. And you know what I did? I made a very simple decision. This is not who I want to be. And you know what I did? I changed. And you know what's funny? The thing that I see why most people don't change in front of other people is because the hardest thing in this world to do is change in front of your peers. You know, you got these people, like I'm looking at the Mazda store, right? They all know each other. They all know each other. And so when one of them tries to start bringing, meal prep to work and working out and eating clean and talking positive, and he doesn't hang out with the negative people anymore. Now he's running to get the keys instead of walking, and, he's going out. He's got more energy while he's talking to people. Man, they're going to make fun of him. They're going to laugh at him. They're going to point at him out the window. They're going to call him a loser. But you know what I'll tell you? Who cares? You need to decide, what do you want? And by the way, I want to tell you a little secret. In the beginning, when you go to change, remember, nobody has evidence that you're going to become who it is that you say you're going to become. There's no evidence. And because they need evidence to see that you can become that, they are going to laugh and mock and joke on you the whole way. But then one day, when you're doing it, they'll be like, I knew he was going to make it. I knew it. I knew it. Or they'll still hate on you. Because, listen, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. You know why people hate, right? Because it makes them question themselves. When I'm 45 years old and I'm shredded, me and my wife are freaking on fire, craziest marriage in the world. I got 3 beautiful kids. I'm all their heroes. I got a badass team. I'm crushing it and killing it. I'm the comeback kid. It means this. The devil told me 1,000,000 times, you're finished. You're done. You're done. I'm like, hey, F you. I'm not done, bro. I'm not listening to your lies. Peace. He hates me. I piss the devil off more than anybody. Who wants to piss the devil off today? Okay? Stop getting distracted. Are you ready to turn your annual income into your monthly income? If you want to make more money in 2025 than ever before, you want to recreate your life, you want to put a financial fence around your family, you're ready to change, you got to be like my boy Tommy here. He's training on the Elliott Training Academy. Listen, it takes a couple things. Number one, life coaching, leadership training. The quality of your life will always come down to the level of your leadership. So the life that you have now is because the leader that you are. It's time to change. If you're ready to change your life, download now. You want to piss them off? And listen, hey, raise your hand when you want to do something. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right. here's what I see. We'll sit in a room and I'll say, who wants to change your life? And people, instead of going like internally, I want to change my life, and they'll raise their hand, they look over to make sure their buddies' hands are going up too. Hey, listen, your buddies probably, listen, no one knows what's in you but you. Can I be clear? And by the way, I'm not telling you, I love teams. I love teams. I love teams. I wish managers, listen to me. I wish every person that you hired would stay with you until they die. I wish that was the case. But the honest truth of it is, that's not going to happen. And so I remember my manager when I was 18 years old. He made us shake hands for 2 hours. 2 hours. How you doing? Andy Elliott. Welcome to the store. How you doing today? How can I serve you today? Boom, boom, boom. Again, handshake. Boom, handshake. Boom, handshake. Boom. Some guys started rolling their eyes after an hour. Come on, man. When are we going to work on objection handling? He goes, if you can't shake a hand, you can't do anything. And I remember my manager told me something that I'll never forget. And I still find it true to this day, even though I don't like it. He goes, Andy, these 10 people that you're sitting with right now, in 2 years, 8 of them are going to be gone. I don't wish it was that way. It's just the way it is. And I wish they were all here, but they just don't want it like you. And so you got to decide, since they don't want it like you, are you going to not want it? Or are you going to want it and realize everything's up to you? You can get whatever you want, man. But you got to be able to handle rejection, Andy. You got to be able to handle people laughing at you. Look, you're going to be training and they're going to be laughing, and later you're going to be laughing and they're going to be complaining. You just decide, man. Train or complain. What do you want? You got to do one or the other because you don't get to ride in the middle. And so I learned that this thing called my mind, ready? I told you it wasn't for you and it's not your friend. I had to learn how every morning that I woke up, I had to do 2 things. Ready? Number 1, I had to intentionally, underline intentional. I had to intentionally do something very hard, as quick as possible. And this is something that a lot of you won't do, but I had to intentionally do something hard as quick as possible. And I'll tell you what a few of those things are here in a second. And then number 2, I had to start being really good to me. You say, what does that mean? That means I was talking to myself about how great my life was, about how I'm on the right path, about how I'm taking the right actions, about how I'm recreating every day, about how every day I'm reinventing myself. I'm reinventing. About how every day I'm killing off the old me. I'm getting 5% better. I knew that I was never going to see it fast enough, but I knew one day I was going to wake up and I was going to be there. I knew it. Listen, I remember when I was 20 years old, I brought home a W-2 pay stub to my dad because I had to file my taxes. And it was like $516,000. And I was 20 years old. And I remember my dad looking at me and like it was impossible. Like my dad didn't even understand. And I remember that that look that my dad gave me was a look that everyone gave me. Everybody looked at me like everything that I said that I was going to do was impossible. And you know what? Maybe it was. I had something inside of me, though, that believed that it was going to happen. Andy, what did you just say? I had something inside of me, it has nothing to do with you, that believed that I was going to pull this off. I knew one day I was going to leave a mark on this world. Listen to me very carefully. I knew one day I was. And I went 20 years when I was younger without a good leader, and 20 years when I was older without a good leader. I wasted 39 years of my life without a good leader. And I'm here to tell you right now, don't chase the money, chase the man, chase the woman. When you become who you're supposed to become, it will rain money on you. When you become a walking billboard of human excellence, when you start making good decisions, when you start living by a new standard, everything changes. I am living proof of this. This is the truth, and this happens. It ain't luck. None of it's been luck. And I want to tell you guys something. If you're watching this right now, I don't care what industry you're in. Here's what I'll tell you. Whatever they told you could make, it's a lie. You can make 10 times more than that. I swear on my life you can. Don't ever believe that shit. Just because someone said that was what they could make, okay, so someone else made that. But that's not you. You guys got to understand this. You can't control outside circumstances. You can't control the economy. You can't control reality. The reality of it is that whatever you think is going to happen is going to happen. Hey guys, looks like you made it to the end of the video. You're the true 0.0001%ers. Look, I know 1%ers that can make it halfway through the video, but making it all the way through, you guys are the best. Now, here's what I'd like to do. Number one, I want to get closer to you. The fact that you made it all the way through the video, you're like, man, dude, I want to roll with this guy. Okay, so I need to connect with you. Down below, there's a description box on this YouTube video. There's a link. It says Coach with Me one-on-one. Okay? If you'll go and you'll enter your information, I'll reach out to you in the next 24 hours. You can tell me what you need help with, what your goals are, and we will crush it together. I would love to help you guys go to the next level in life. You can tell I'm changing my life really fast, and I know that you guys want the same thing. I'd love to go with you on that journey. So right now, if you'd like to partner with me, team with me, if you want me to help coach you and push you, everybody needs a coach, a higher level of accountability to go to the next level. Go to the description box below, click on the link, fill out your information. I'll talk to you in the next 24 hours. Let's kill it.